Hey guys, it's Michelle, and as you can probably see, it's dark outside. I'm actually sitting in my car. It's almost 10 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting outside my client's house because I have another night shift to do. And I've got this question so many times that I thought, you know what, I should just record my answer in a video, so that way instead of repeating the same thing, I can just send people the video and it can explain everything to them. And the question that I keep getting over and over again is, how do you work your business because you are so busy? So I'm going to step back first and tell you a little bit about the busy part. And just to give you guys an idea, in case you don't already know, I'm a newborn care specialist and a certified postpartum doula. And I actually work anywhere from 100 hours a week to, for example, this week I have just under 130 hours this week, and the week is not over. So this week I did 4 24-hour shifts, 1 14-hour shift, and then 1 12-hour shift. And like I said, I'm still going. And as you can see, I am exhausted. I have bags under my eyes. Thank goodness for lip and eye cream, because I keep this in my cup holder in my car. It does help. But I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely tired. And I'm going to speak from my heart. I don't mean to offend anybody in this video, but I think I'm just as exhausted physically as I am mentally of hearing people say that they don't have time to work this business. Because you know what? I don't have time either, but I make time. And so I'm going to just walk you guys through how I do that and what I'm doing, because it is working. Signed up, got 16 signups last month, and I'm at 11 this month. That's loyals and distributors. And so, really guys, no excuses. There's just no excuses. And I think people make themselves feel better when they give an excuse. If they say, oh, I've just been really busy, it makes them feel better, like they're off the hook for a moment. But when your paycheck arrives or doesn't arrive, then I don't know how good that excuse made you feel then. So, I am no better than anybody, and I'm not making this video to brag or to say that I'm any better than anyone, because I'm not. And it's really just to maybe give some guidance or motivation to people who are struggling with their time. So when you don't have a lot of time to spare, you have to be good with time management. And if you're not good with time management and you don't have a lot of time, that's a recipe for disaster. So here's how I just sort of mentally walk myself through what my plan is going to be. If I'm working let's say I'm doing a 20, I'll give you an example of a 16-hour shift. Let's say I'm doing a 16-hour shift, and what I do from that is I say, okay, there's 24 hours in a day, minus 16 hours, because 16 of those hours I'm going to be at work. Okay, that leaves me 8 hours left. All right, well, my commute to work is an hour each way. So that's 2 hours that now gets deducted. So now I have 6 hours left. All right, so let's say I'm going to give myself 4 hours of sleep in a 24-hour period, which by no means is enough. It's not enough at all. But I get that when you want time freedom, you have to give time into your business to get time freedom back in the long run. So this is a temporary sacrifice that I'm willing to make for a long-term, permanent reward of time freedom. So let's say, okay, I'm going to give myself 4 hours of sleep. That takes me to, I believe, 2 hours left. And then from there, I'll do I'll give myself like 30 minutes to eat, and then let's say like 30 minutes of shower. And I actually own a company aside from being a wrap girl with It Works. So I also have to run this company. Even though I'm working these shifts, I still actually own a company where we staff out newborn specialists. And so I have to send out contracts and do all that kind of stuff, which is not necessarily important for this video, but it's just to say that my jobs are never done. And when I'm not at work, I have work waiting on me. And then somehow I need to work this business. So if I have now set myself to 1 to 2 hours of availability. I've got 1 to 2 hours that I can work my business that day. I don't mess around for that 1 or 2 hours. I literally set an alarm on my phone to keep myself on track for 15-minute intervals. I do the power hour, which has been really, really helpful. And just to give you an idea, that would be like 15 minutes of social media. And when I say social media, I'm not watching videos of cats in, you know, red bows and looking at how cute they are. Or what, I don't have time for that. My 15 minutes has to be income producing activity. So that 15 minutes is spent promoting my business on social media, and that's Instagram and Facebook. The next 15 minutes would be me reading a book that's going to help me grow as a leader and grow as a person with my business. So that might be my next 15 minutes. My third chunk of 15 minutes would be follow-up, let's say. So you get the idea. I'm really, really, really strict with myself on those 15 minutes. And you can ask my husband, you can ask Heather, if they try and show me something or tell me something or call me during that time, you're gonna get rejected. And it's not because I don't love them or want to spend time with them or you know, hang out. It's because that's not in my 15 minutes. And you gotta look at your time as money. If something cost you $100 and you only had 50, you couldn't buy it. Well, if I want time freedom and I only have an hour to achieve it, I can't give an hour to something that's not going to get me my time freedom. So that's one thing that I'm really strict with myself about. And when my alarm goes off at that 15 minutes, I drop whatever it is and I move to the next thing. So I'm really diligent about that. I try and fit in work at work. So just to kind of paint a picture on what my job is kind of like, currently I'm working with preemie twins. And they're learning how to eat, they're learning how to breastfeed. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with newborns. And then when you add preemies to the mix, that's a little more complicated. And when you add multiples, now we've got an additional curveball. So it takes them about an hour to finish eating, and they eat every 3 hours. So one takes, 30 to 45 minutes, then we feed the next one. That's a 30 to 45 minute window thing. Then mom has to pump, so I have to set up all of her pump stuff. When she's done pumping, I have to wash her supplies. When she is pumping, I try and cook food for her. A lot of my moms either have postpartum depression, they're recovering from a surgery like C-section, or they have multiples. And that's not always the case, but that's in general a significant chunk of my clientele. And then when she's done pumping, I try and get her to take a nap. Now, while she's napping, that's my opportunity to catch up on baby laundry, to do anything that mom can't do. If she can't lift, then that's my opportunity to take out the trash for her. I'm also going to be in the kitchen washing the dishes from the food that I just made. So that window keeps crunching and getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And before you know it, I've only got a 10-minute window before I got to feed a baby again. And so I don't have a whole lot of time to work this business. I'm self-employed. I don't get an hour lunch break. I don't get 2 15-minute breaks. It doesn't work like that in the world that I work in. So I set myself up. If the whole house is asleep and I don't need to feed anybody and laundry is done and I've got an hour window, I don't usually use that window for sleep. That's when I hop on my social media. That's when I'm texting people. I'm contacting people in a different country because their time zone is the opposite. So if it's, 1 o'clock in the morning here, it might be 1 o'clock in the afternoon there, and I can text them quietly while I have baby sleeping. I'm just saying all of this to show you that everything I do is really well thought out, and I really put emphasis on being efficient. I don't goof off. I have a DVR, I've TiVo'd so many shows and they're just collecting, because you know what? There's no BV in TV, right? So I don't want to make this video too long, but I just want to stress to you guys that I am constantly overworked, under-rested, and it's all going to be worth it. So stop making excuses, because your excuses are never going to equal an income. And majority of us got into It Works because we wanted an income, and the income fuels our why. And your excuses will never fuel an income, which will never fuel your why. So don't say, I don't have time. Be honest with yourself. Just say, I'm not making time, if that's the case. If I can do this, you can do this. If I can work 130 hours in a week and fill out my steps to success twice, then you can too, because I am no better than anyone else. So I hope this video inspires you guys. I hope this video motivates you, and I wish you guys all the best. Bye.